Hello YouTube and welcome to my channel. 𝗖Ce might be the most unfortunate character to ever be released in Wuthering Waves. No, now Russia, I am recording, sandwiched between Aemeath's release and the upcoming anniversary which last time included reruns for almost all the characters in the game, being Aero and competing as a DPS with 𝗖cie and Juno, and I mean, who doesn't have 𝗖cie at this point? Most people even have multiple sequences for her. However, if you are like me, a true SIGRIKA enjoyer, and this does not stop you from pulling for her, in this video I will go over everything you need to know in order to maximize her damage as well as what her best teams are gonna be. And we will start with the weapon. Her signature Soul Sword Cyphers is her best in slot, providing echo skill damage and defense ignore. This weapon is very basic and is completely unusable on anyone but SIGRIKA. It is way too specific, not only tied to echo skill damage, but the defense ignore is for aero damage only. So yeah, luckily you don't have to pull for it. Pulsation Bracer is a very strong F2P alternative. The passive is completely worthless, but just being a statistic is enough. And if you don't have Pulsation Bracer yet, is a new weapon, a new standard weapon introduced with lynae, then the previous standard weapon is not that far behind. And if you have neither, what are you doing? But in that case, just use Celestial Spiral or the Craftable Gauntlet 21 as placeholders until you manage to get them. For echoes, Sound of True Name is gonna be her set, Nameless Explorer is gonna be the main echo, and you will want it to be on either crit rate or crit damage. If you are using SIGRIKA together with Shorekeeper, you are always gonna want crit damage on this echo. Otherwise, run crit damage only if you are using SIGRIKA on a Pulsation Bracer. For all the other weapons, use crit rate. One of the 3-cost echoes is always gonna be attack percent, as well as both 1-cost echoes. And now, for the last 3-cost echo, it depends. SIGRIKA has a passive that converts the energy regen she has above 125% into echo skill damage. This caps when SIGRIKA reaches 150% energy regen, so it is quite specific. SIGRIKA herself is not that energy regen hungry. She only really needs 20% in order to have a smooth rotation. So this is a situation of, if we already are here, might as well just go for it. The way you want to do this is you want to get as close as possible to 18% energy regen from substats, and then use an energy regen 3-cost in order to reach 150%. Any ER over 150% is a completely wasted stat. And for those of you that want to min-max SIGRIKA, if you manage to reach 30% energy regen from substats, then there is barely any difference between attack percent, energy regen, and aero damage, with the energy regen just getting worse and worse the more ER you get. To simplify it, if you have at least 4 ER substats, or maybe, I don't know, 3 ER substats, but they are all high roll maxed out, at least 10% ER each of them, then you should go for attack percent or the aero damage for the 3-cost. Otherwise, you should always go for energy regen. And for this specific situation, just leave upgrading the second 3-cost last, so you know how many ER substats you are already working with and what to go for. Regardless, the difference is very small, and in my opinion is definitely not going out of your way to hunt for these perfect substats unless you really like SIGRIKA or just for, you know, flexing purposes. For echo substats, you will want to reach 18% energy regen first of all, not only because it's required for her passive, but also because you will need it for a smooth rotation, followed by crit rate and crit damage, attack percent, and finally flat attack. For skills, you will want to level up first the Forte, this is her biggest increase in damage, followed by the basic attack, liberation, skill, and finally intro. All her abilities should be leveled to max because they are all important parts of her DPS. The only exception is the intro, because the intro barely is any increase in damage at all. And finally, the teams. Chuan is her best partner by far, and she's also his best partner. The third spot is very flexible here. Shorekeeper is gonna be the best, like she always, but Aero Rover, Verina, 𝗖cie, Juno, mornye, and even Prolova are all very strong. Juno buffs heavy attack damage, which is a big portion of Chuan's DPS, and she also has her own DPS. 𝗖cie, like Aero Rover, buffs the entire team's aero damage. Prolova is getting buffed by both SIGRIKA and Chuan. She has some insane damage herself. You have what to pick from and choose. Of course, the bigger question is, what if you don't have 𝗖𝗄? Well, SIGRIKA needs a team that can use 6 echo skills per rotation. She gets a ton of buffs for herself and her team from that. 𝗖𝗄 can do that by himself, but without 𝗖𝗄, the only team that can accomplish this is the Prolova Cantarella combo. And if you don't have access to this combo either, then another option is SIGRIKA with mornye and lynae. But that is more lynae and mornye being broken than SIGRIKA being anything of value to the team. If you are looking for F2P options for SIGRIKA, tough luck. Her F2P options are just purely cope. And unfortunately, SIGRIKA does not have an Aerolupa, so she can have some alternative gameplays like Galbrena. I hope you enjoyed this video. Until next time, have a wonderful day, good luck with your pulls, and bye for now.